By the time Rome collapsed, its most trusted coin was almost worthless, not from war, not from invasion, from something far smaller and far stupider that no emperor ever fixed. Tonight you'll pay a bill without thinking twice. Money moves invisible and instant. You won't notice the currency it's built on. The last time an empire mishandled its money this badly, it took the most powerful civilization on earth down with it. You assume Rome fell because of barbarians, great armies storming the gates, torches, chaos, the end arriving all at once in 476 AD. That image is everywhere. It feels obvious. It's mostly incomplete. Historian Peter Heather, who has spent decades studying Rome's final centuries, argues the invasions were real and important, but they were closer to a final push than a first cause. Something inside Rome had already been failing for a long time before anyone crossed the border. So what was actually failing? Start with the coins. Classical historian Kyle Harper has traced how, over roughly 2 centuries, Roman emperors repeatedly debased the silver denarius, the empire's core currency, cutting its silver content again and again to pay for wars, bribes, and an ever-expanding bureaucracy. By the mid-200s, a coin that once held roughly 90% silver held barely 5%. People noticed, prices spiraled, trust in Roman currency collapsed across the empire, and trade that had once stitched Rome together began fraying at the edges. You felt the smaller version of this. Watch a currency lose value fast and people stop trusting it long before the number on the bill technically changes. Confidence breaks first. The formal collapse follows. Here's where it gets stranger. Harper's research goes further, pointing to something almost nobody learns in school: climate and disease. Tree ring and ice core data show a period scientists call the Roman climate optimum, unusually stable, warm conditions that coincided almost exactly with Rome's centuries of expansion. Starting around 150 AD, the stability broke down. Volcanic eruptions cooled the climate. Harvests grew less predictable. Then came the Antonine plague, followed later by the plague of Cyprian, likely a viral hemorrhagic fever that by some estimates killed a significant percentage of the empire's population. Rome's own success, its roads, its cities, its trade networks connecting Europe, Africa, and Asia, had built the perfect highway system for disease to travel farther and faster than ever before. An empire weakened by unstable harvests, shrinking populations, and a currency nobody trusted was, by the 3rd century, already structurally hollow, long before a single Gothic army crossed the Danube. That's the twist we're sitting with. The invasions of the 4th and 5th centuries didn't cause Rome's fall so much as arrive at the exact moment Rome could least afford them. Historian Bryan Ward-Perkins has argued that once the Western Roman economy fractured into isolated regional pockets, unable to coordinate a unified response, invasion became less something Rome resisted and more something it could no longer stop. The military didn't collapse because soldiers stopped being brave. It collapsed because a bankrupt, undermined, climate-stressed state could no longer reliably pay, feed, or organize them. This is where the mirror gets uncomfortable. You live inside systems that assume currency will hold its value, that supply chains will stay connected, that institutions built for one climate will keep functioning in a shifting one. Rome's leaders largely didn't see their own decline as decline. Each debased coin, each short-term fix felt reasonable in the moment. It was only centuries later that historians could trace the line from silver content to collapse. Nobody in 3rd century Rome woke up and decided to end an empire. They just kept shaving the silver, harvest after harvest, plague after plague, until the currency, the climate, and the population had all quietly stopped cooperating with the story Rome told about its own strength. So tonight, when you pay that bill without a second thought, you're trusting a system doing exactly what Roman currency once did, holding value only as long as everyone agrees to believe in it. Rome didn't fall in a single night at the gates. Its coin went worthless first, one shaving at a time, long before anyone was watching the walls.